What is everyone talking about right now? Oh, Sevis, this is Andre. All right, Princeton. Is he a track athlete? What is this? Okay, all right. Men's track and field. Versatile skill set here. All-time school. Number one all-time in school history in the heptathlon. Okay, all right. I'm intrigued.
Yoshi! Welcome to semi-best ball, semi-dynasty with Bindles. We have a recurring guest, friend of the program, the Coach. I think he's beaten my ass in every dynasty game we've had across like 5 or 6 leagues. So, he's just owning me, but
you smoked me in a couple, man. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, it's always discouraging. It's like, the thing with dynasty is like when you have 30 teams, it's just like you win some, you lose some. Like in one game, I'm like, oh, Keenan Allen, I need 30 points. In the other game, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't need him. Yeah. 15 points. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it'll balance out. It's kind of freeing. It's kind of freeing a little bit. So
yeah, man, that's the curse of having a fully diversified profile right there. It all balances out.
Exactly. So yeah, we're just gonna talk through a little bit of best ball portfolio, just kind of how our teams are doing, and then we're also just gonna talk through dynasty a little bit, just whatever risers, fallers, guys we're buying on the way up, guys we're trying to sell like hotcakes and get it out of our hair. Rashad Bateman.
Johnson, who is actually your guy, ILC Josephus, is almost caught up to season point totals for first round draft pick Quentin Johnson. Good pull for Josephus, Black Monster.
Yeah, QJ. I mean, I don't want to call it dead yet. Like it's looking pretty bad when you can't get ahead of Josh Palmer, who's like pretty much the most jag of all jags.
He had some sick catches called back for penalties, though, man. Did you see some of those last night?
QJ or Palmer?
Yeah, Palmer. I think he lost like 50 to 60 yards due to penalties. So I don't know. He had a nice like one hand just on the sideline. It was great.
He's serviceable. Like I don't know. Him and KJ Osborne, to me, they're like the same guy. Like they just are like. They can put up like I think Osborne had like a 30-pointer last year. Like they can make it happen, but it's not really like consistent. Like they'll have like a 5-pointer and then I guess that's all wide receivers. But
if you had to pick one of those two to fall into like the Brandon Lloyd career year at some point that just comes out of nowhere, which one?
I feel like Palmer's better. I don't know if that. I don't know where do you fall on that one?
I'd go Palmer. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what the Vikings are going to be?
Osborne is just so like uninspiring to me. I don't know why. I don't know. Like it just hurts me every time he gets a target. I'm just like it hurts my soul that it's not anybody else. Like
yeah.
So how are your best ball teams doing? Like what are you didn't do a ton of BBM, right? But you did a lot of like just puppies and other stuff.
Yeah.
How are you feeling on like kind of your exposures, kind of your top guys, and just general feels right now?
General feels round 10, round 11, Rashad Penny would be great to cash at some point. One of him and Jeff Wilson, definitely one of my higher exposed players. So really hoping that comes home to Nest sometime. That would be great.
I know. Jesus.
I somehow have which I still have an eliminator team that's live, despite having no starting running backs last week. I advanced. So I'm going to take that. And then puppy 3, I'm somehow doing great in. I don't know if I transcended time and space. I think I'm at like 14 out of 36 teams that I drafted are in first, second, or third. So I'm going to take that. Puppy 4, not looking so hot. The closer we got to the start of the season, it was not good. BBM, I got about I think it's 24% of my teams are in first, second, or third right now. So
That's
I'm gonna
solid.
take it. Yeah, we're in all right shape. Really need Jeff Wilson and some others to come through. I feel like we're being carried heavily by the Dolphins offense, by
Me too.
hopeful friend of the show Sam Laporta. He's cashing checks.
Yo, yeah, I don't know why we didn't. We should have started off the show with Yoshi and with Laporta. Yeah, that's honestly you were on Laporta like. I mean, is it like you're in Nebraska, so you just are hype about the Iowa boys, or what was it that drew you to him initially that you were making him like your stand player?
It was I'm not too big into flag plants, but I'll take that one.
Absolutely.
It's just all of it coming together because super athletic, not super. I mean, he's not like Kyle Pitts athletic, but like really athletic tight end. Hit all those thresholds that our guys like to lay out as far as that goes. Accounted for like a ridiculous percentage of that terrible Iowa offense, and for some reason or another, Ferentz just turns out NFL ready tight ends at the drop of a hat. So I loved it. The landing spot was incredible because he had nobody in front of him, and that offense uses the tight end. Off is great at throwing to guys that are going to get yards after the catch, which is like Laporta's game. So yeah, I was all in on
crazy,
it.
Yeah,
he's great, man.
Yeah,
a lot of fun to watch too.
I never like I thought he would be solid. Like I thought he'd be like, okay, like end of the season he'll like pick it up a little bit. All the rookie tight ends this year, even Mayer started, you know, he had a good game yesterday, or Sunday. And yeah, it is looking like a historic tight end class. Like it really is.
Yeah.
Like Laporta already jumping up to like what, tight end 3 probably?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there was a time he was the scoring tight end 1, and I'm like, I remember sending you like the messages. I'm like, dude, this is crazy to watch it happen because he's just like going up and up and up and up. This is nobody thought it would be like this kind of a breakout this early, especially for a tight end. Like you never see this year one, so it was awesome, man.
Sorry, we got an ambulance in the background here.
All good.
Yeah, I mean it's just so, yeah, like you said, the landing spot, like and he really does have like wide receiver skills. Like when you watch his highlights in college, you watch like he has the yak ability. He's not just some like big lumbering tight end. He really like that's what really stood out to me. And combining that with Ben Johnson and like how good he is as a play caller and a schemer on offense, it's all come together. You know, I'm the resident Mark Andrews stan. I still think I got to go Mark Andrews over him. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, obviously the like whatever 5 years age difference definitely helps. But I think Andrews is pretty much, he's not Kelsey level where he's getting like whatever 20 points a game. But
yeah,
I mean, I think he's at like 17 points a game, or maybe he's a little bit less now. But like I think that he'll settle around that. So still think he gives you the best blend of like, he's only 28, so he still has probably whatever 5 years or something like that, and he is going to produce. I mean, not up to Kelsey level, but maybe right up to there. So
yeah, I mean, he had a year where he was the tight end 1, so I mean, he has bested Kelsey at least once. I think the great thing about Andrews is, like you said, he's going to give you. Not that we're super into consistency, but like he gives you those solid weeks, week after week, and then you will get the spike week mixed in there where he'll, smash 30, 35 points, something like that. It's not like Kittle where, it's like feast or famine where you don't know where the spike week is going to happen, but it's going to happen. But you're going to have to sit through like the, 8, 9 point games 3 weeks in a row at some point.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm trying to pull up my my BBM teams, and it's not showing me with the scores on my computer, and I'm like, oh shit! Like this is
Perfect.
real annoying. But yeah, no, I agree. Like I think, yeah, I don't think the Ravens offense has been like up to what we thought, but
Yeah.
I also think part of it is that a lot of the touchdowns have been like Justice Hill, Gus Edwards. Like it hasn't been a lot of like passing touchdowns. It's been Lamar Jackson running it or the running backs. So I think if that like variance comes back a little bit, I don't know. I think still like that nice. I think I have a couple of teams where it's like Tyreek Hill, and then I did Lamar and Andrews at the like 2-3 turn. I was like, ooh, that's looking
Yeah.
real nice right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of, side note, tired of the gaslighting from NFL Twitter saying that Lamar is having fun in the new offense, because it doesn't seem like that much fun so far. Like they're not kind of, running up the score at will. Like there's times where it looks a little bit like a struggle. So I would like to see like the fun, spike week at some point before we have to keep hearing about, gosh, this looks so much better than last year. Like
I just
it's
think
tough.
the wide receiver talent. Speaking of Bateman, who I don't know what I think I was high 20s. A lot of people I know
Yeah.
and on Twitter and everything were high 20s Bateman, and I definitely wish I would have gotten a little bit more Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
That one hurts for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. I mean, Bateman's just that dude, like the perfect, perfect profile. He was super cheap. You could fit him into a lot of different builds and stuff like that, but it just hasn't hit injuries and all that other stuff. So it's tough.
Yeah, I just think it's tough when like you don't like Zay Flowers is there, and then OBJ's been hurt, Bateman's been hurt, and then you have freaking Nelson Aguilar. Like it's just you don't outside of Mark Andrews, there's just not enough around him really to I think like give you those huge fantasy numbers. But I still think better days are coming. Like they've been holding their ground, like still super solid.
Yeah.
Like, Lamar hasn't been killing it, but definitely think he has some like 40 burger like
Oh
games
yeah.
in him. And then Andrew, same thing. Like if Lamar's going off, Andrews is going off as well. So
Yeah, man.
um,
It's coming.
yeah, Dynasty Justice Hill. I'm pretty sure I have like 50% Justice Hill. I've started him way too many times, like way more than I
Beautiful.
would like to. But hey, I'll take it for like he was going. I think in startups I was going like 30th round, like literally like last round, like last couple rounds. So
It's almost as good as your Craig Reynolds stout. I mean, that's top of the top.
you want to see
Like,
something real scary here?
how psyched were you for that block? You play any points per block leagues? Because
Hey,
that was a monster.
yo, I you don't you I think you do know this about me, but I used to play football, and I'm a very gentle human being off the field, but on the field, like I feel like I just like some switch goes off, and like yeah, like it brought me like gave me like good PTSD. Like it was like
Yeah.
yeah, I need to hit somebody PTSD. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm a Lions fan. Love some grinder, some undrafted free agents. So yeah,
Dude, that team, so much fun.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, I just I'm worried for when Ben Johnson leaves. But you know what? We're gonna ride it out. We have
Yeah.
this year, and that's all we have for now. So yeah. Hey,
5-1, man.
how about your Colts? A-Rich maybe out for the season, man. That's a tough one. You
That's a
get
bummer.
JT back, and then you lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfectly balanced, like just it's tough. I'm glad Minshew's there. I think Minshew's probably one of the best backups in the league, if not, the best. He's real familiar with Dyken's offense. I realize there's some massive differences between him and Richardson. I think Richardson showed out a lot. I think in whatever sort of evaluation the coaching staff can get from that handful of games that he played, I think they've got to be really encouraged with it, because dude has all the tools. You can see he's got the talent. He's a super fast learner. Nate Tice on Twitter had some great threads kind of walking through how quickly he's able to pick up different like defensive concepts and adjust to it. with the routes that the receivers are running and stuff like that. And like, dude is just fun to watch. Like, it's such a relief after, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, all of that. Like, just seeing a QB back there that can, has some mobility, has crazy arm strength, and is dynamic. It's exciting.
Yeah, I didn't think he would pick it up that quickly. Like that was like some, I don't want to say savant, but like it was just like you don't see guys like his profile coming in, his passing was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like his completion percentage, and he just like I don't like this is just complete just like ball watching and not actual analytics or anything, but it's just like he just would make mistakes and just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep going and like make mistakes, but just keep rolling. And like I think that's huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if he doesn't play, like I still think he's whatever. He's definitely a locked in first round pick in Dynasty. And I think probably like I don't know. I think you can make a case above like Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. Like it's like because I mean realistically, I know we saw only a few games, but like what is the difference between like I don't know. Like I think I don't want to say like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, like that level yet, but I definitely think like you're still buying at a price where he can go up. Like I still think you can get to like whatever that Jalen Hurts like 103, 104, whatever that range. So yeah, very encouraging. So I mean, hey, long term, you still got you signed JT and you got A Rich, so it's not
would have been
the
cool to
worst
sign JT sooner, but whatever.
Yo, Zach Moss been holding it down.
What in the world? What happened when he left Buffalo? Like, my God, has the dude been popped for like a drug test at all? Because this is not the same player that was in Buffalo at all. It's insane.
It's just I'm just so confused. Like I've never seen like his burst. You're right. Like it's like literally he doesn't look like the same player. Like it just breaking long runs, just like he seemed such like a grinder before, and now he's just fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
Yeah, he's been a lot of fun.
So we're talking up Craig Reynolds. Let's see something real crazy here. My internet's being very slow.
Ooh, Alex in the chat, you're right. A Rich to Marvin Jr. is going to be fun to watch next year. I hope it happens.
That would be sick. That would be sick. Him, Pittman, Downs has looked very, very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the life of a degenerate. You know what? This was up. This was like 60-something%. So this is actually down. But yeah, we're still at 44%. So I'm a little bit embarrassed at my 44%. But yeah, you know what? I don't think I started him in a single league, so it's pretty useless. But maybe this week we got a week out of it.
Yeah.
If I can get one usable week out of Craig Reynolds in any year ever, then I'm fine with it.
It's good.
So yeah, I don't know. Do you have any? I don't know if you want to share your screen and show like whatever some of your favorite teams, or just we can talk some macro, like just what the landscape looks like in terms of like point scoring and everything.
Yeah, let's dive in with what you've got there.
So yeah, I just want to go through. I have a couple like teams that are doing pretty good. The first one, I think this is actually my favorite one. I have one that has like this is 852 total, which is like top 2,000 right now, and then I have another one that's like top 1,200 or something. But yeah, this one I like. Obviously, Watson is a little scary right now. We don't really know what the hell's going on. It's a little fishy that he just like isn't playing when he was medically cleared. So a little bit worried about that. But 3 QB with Stroud, huge hit, and Geno to carry me if Watson is doing some BS. ETN,
oh my gosh,
I wish I had way more ETN. Like I feel like we're gonna look back and just be like, yes. Like I still don't get like the Tank Bigsby thing. I think we just like he was solid, but he wasn't like Travis Etienne has always been very good at football. Like when he's healthy, he's always been really good. And obviously we didn't know about the third down role, but I think his price was just very palatable in all formats. Yeah.
Yeah, that Tank Bigsby preseason narrative, it's got to be an all-timer. Like that was something, man. And that was like across the board. It was a widespread ETN fade. Just bizarre. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the lesson from that is just like Twitter is sometimes like we have these days in the off season where it's like whatever, Tank Bigsby day, it's this guy day, and it's like I think we have to try to like zoom out a little bit and just be like, okay, look at the profile, and just like think about it from like I think we undersell like just talent sometimes. Like we just think like, oh, like they brought in this guy and oh, this guy coach. It's like coaches use player like their usage is dictated based on how good the players are, not necessarily what they've done before, or like they might go into it with a certain plan. But when you have ETN, who's just a way better football player than Tank Bigsby, like I'm sorry, that's what they're going to give him the ball. So yeah.
As somebody who likes to overthink things a lot, I often fall victim to the brainworms syndrome of just letting some silly idea just completely corrupt my thought process. And it happens from time to time. So yeah, I'm not immune to it.
No, hey, no, trust me. You're speaking my language right there. I mean, I'm chronically overthinking. But yeah, okay. So we got James Cook. Not a huge like James Cook guy. But I had Diggs. So James Cook, he's been solid. Like not great. They might be signing Lenny, which would be great for our bags. But yeah, it's just weird usage. Like it's like just no real goal line work except for just like when they didn't want to sub him out that one time. So a little bit concerning, but good offense. If Devin Singletary can like put up some pretty good numbers, I think James Cook can too. It's just, I don't know. He's still young. He could grow into the role. I don't know. Don't love him. But solid. A-Chain.
Oh my goodness.
Just absolutely bonkers speed. I've gotten them pretty, I guess not super cheap, but like semi cheap. And if you're not in
did his cost ever spike really?
In best ball? No.
Yeah.
He went to like 110-ish range. But yeah, in best ball, he was a smash. I just I mean, like obviously Mostert, he's been the beneficiary just because he hasn't been hurt yet, which I still think this is not sustainable. Like I know he's killing it right now, but like, come on.
Yeah, it's there's something, man. And I think Mostert had another run clocked in at like over 21 miles an hour this week. For whatever that counts for. Pretty incredible when you just put fast players all together in one offense. It's a lot of fun. A-Chain though, Chan, sorry. My gosh, dude, like that Denver game just had to be demoralizing. That was insane.
Yeah, that was like, it's crazy to see a guy that, because you see a lot of like fast, like scat back type guys, but when you watched him play, he didn't really he doesn't play like a scat back. Like it's weird. Like he's actually like, he can grind a decent amount for how big he is. And I think he weighed in at what, like 188 or something at the combine. I think he's a little bit bigger than that. It's like one of those like where he probably wanted to run as fast as he possibly could. So he, slimmed down because he knew that was his money maker trait. It was like, okay, I want to run a 4.32 or whatever as fast as I can. I feel like he's whatever. I don't know if he's 200, but like I feel like he's whatever. Definitely more than 188, and he definitely doesn't play that small.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It just reminds me of the meme, like the IQ bell curve meme of just like the dumb guy being like, I want fast players, and the really smart guy going, I want fast players, and the guy in the middle being like, his BMI is too low. Like
perfect. It captures it perfectly.
Foreman, I wish it's not looking great. I thought I was going to get at least one usable week out of them. Who knows? I mean, the Bears are a trash fire, so you never know. But Mostert, we just talked about him. He's killing it. I still think 31 years old and just like, I don't think it's going to continue for the whole season. I think Jeff Wilson and Achan are going to have their days. Lenny, we can only hope and pray to the best ball in Dynasty gods that we get him to sign somewhere relevant. I think he's visiting. Was he visiting today?
Buffalo? Yeah, supposedly. I don't know if anything came of that or if that was even ended up being real. So who knows?
It's just some guy tweeting it. Yeah.
Lenny's agent on the burner.
Yo, we can move. We need some Russian bots to get some Lenny hype going so that there's a bidding war. If you know a guy, if you know anybody in Russia, I would be down to pay some money towards that cause. Diggs has been absolutely killing it. I honestly just like I wish I would have taken more CMC, but like it's crazy to me how well all the older / receivers are playing. Even Adams, because I think he's hurt.
Yeah.
But
got the shoulder thing.
Just absolutely blitzing freaking leagues right now.
Yeah. It's the olds are just killing it in point per game. Like I think the top 5 is I think littered with all of them because you've got Tyreek, Cup, Diggs, and then why am I forgetting? Oh, Keenan Allen. My gosh. Yeah. Like they're just going nuts.
Let's see. Well, I'll figure this out later. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, we were talking on Sleeper a couple days ago. Like I think this is something we should talk about to interrupt the review of this team. I think like I've only played Dynasty. This is only my second year playing Dynasty, so I think I'm still learning a lot. But yeah, like we were mentioning, I don't know. Yeah, like we were both just talking about like, I feel like, in season, like I know I personally have gotten some like crazy trades where I feel like I'm just absolutely stealing some young guy who people are just like, oh, he's not scoring points right now, so I'm going to dump him, like Gibbs and Achan and a few others. Like that is crazy to me. And then taking advantage of that during the season. And then in the off season, it swings so far the other way where everyone's like, oh, well, I want whatever, this young guy. And he put up a whatever, this yards per route run. And I just need to draft him in like the 6th round. When there's a guy who's like, oh, he turns 28 and he's just like, he is off the face of the earth and just, like he's never going to score points again or anything. So, the
panic with Tyreek going to Miami was probably my favorite, like opportunity to buy low because people were just losing their minds over him going there. He's never going to do it. He's done. Tua can't get him the ball, all this, all that. And it's like, dude, this guy has never not produced. Like he's only produced in like the top 6. Like it's not going to stop. They'll figure out a way to get him the ball. And lo and behold, he's on pace for like 2,300 receiving yards, like it's already at like 863 this year. And he went nuts last year. Like, and you could get him cheap.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's it. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like he's playing a different game out there. Yeah. Like, it's just like, is this both football? Like this guy covering him and So have you pulled off any like trades in season? Like where you've gotten some young guys, and like what's like been your strategy in season? Like,
was able to pull some good Rashi Rice stuff before he's really I feel like he's right on the cusp of the breakout. Right now he's got the small sample size yards per route run stuff looks tremendous. So I was able to kind of work him into a few deals there. So that one was kind of that's not big like table stakes, but was able to get some CD Lamb too.
Really?
He was struggling. Well, I mean, I don't know if he was struggling, but like the Cowboys were just in some weird games and he wasn't getting many targets. And it's, people were moving off of him. I'm like, okay, I will take a top 5, dynasty wide receiver for that price. That's fine.
That's yeah, I feel like I think people are overreacting definitely just to like weird games and stuff. So yeah, that's nice. Those are real nice buys right there.
Yeah. How about you? Gibbs, and you've had some nice Gibbs gets from what I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, Gibbs and Achan. I'm trying to think any other rookies that I feel like, yeah, it's hard. Like, I think those are the two because they've both been a little bit injured where you can kind of take advantage of it, where people are like, okay, well, they're not putting up, they have a Q tag or they're not putting up points in my lineup right now so that you can take advantage of it and get some pretty cheap prices. I mean, yeah, I think we almost underreact to like when guys are like Achan, like we're gonna go. I'm trying to think with every rookie. I'm just trying to think like in the offseason, like I was just saying, like how we're overreacting to young players. Like, yeah, like Laporta, and I think the dynasty market is getting like smarter and like obviously like Laporta's tight end 3 probably or whatever. But Achan, I feel like people like outside of like maybe like the like Twitter bubble, I still find that like people are still a little bit hesitant on him.
Yeah.
And Gibbs as well, where they're just like still that lingering doubt. And I just think Gibbs,
Especially with both of them being injured early.
yeah,
Because that plays into that size narrative a lot. So that's fine.
yeah, I think you take advantage if you can get them for like whatever some guys who are scoring points right now. Definitely do it, or like a first and like some middle tier guy. Yeah, I
Did
mean,
you
it's
get
just
any
like
Stroud before the come up?
I only have 2 shares of Stroud. One was in a startup where it's probably one of my least favorite teams. I'm doing absolutely horrendous, and I don't have my first round pick because I traded for Mahomes and Lamar in the startup. And then Chubb got hurt and Mike Williams got hurt, so I'm just like in no man's land. But yeah, I got he fell to 106. So I was like, okay, I have to take him. And now that I almost traded him a few times away for like some whatever, like Saquon or whatever, some guys that were scoring points. And now I'm like, I don't want to trade him, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just in this weird no man's land. It's like I can't really trade him for anything that it's not really going to help me either way. So I don't know what to do. And then another one was, I think in a league we're in, where I just randomly was on a weekend with my family and I got an offer for like CJ Stroud and Dobbins, I think, for like it wasn't like a terrible deal. Now that Dobbins is hurt, it's probably pretty even, but I think it was like Ritter, a first, and Charbonnet or something. So yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievable, man. Like
palatable.
Talk about Stroud a little bit, because I feel like it's just unprecedented so far.
Man. It's pretty crazy to watch because I mean they imported, from how I understand it, like a lot of elements of kind of that San Fran Shanahan system. So they're not, they're easier reads, but they're not necessarily like easy reads. But that dude, his arm it's just easy gas. Like watching him make these throws is insane. All areas of the field, and he's attacking it with confidence. Great like pocket presence, able to move around. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I mean, obviously, like he's been impressing on like every metric possible for a rookie QB on a team that was kind of left for dead. Like nobody, you get like some Nico truthers that would point to some different elements of his game that they liked. But I don't think anybody saw the offense breaking out like this and Stroud just hitting the ground running that hard, that fast.
Yeah, I mean it's been great. Like it's crazy that we've had. I know obviously we're talking about A-Rich. He was like very very impressive in his few starts before he got hurt. Stroud is just like he looks like I would say like whatever, like Burrow and like Herbert type like passer. Like he's on pace for I think like almost 5,000 yards.
It's insane.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy because like it's hard to evaluate players when they're at like Ohio State, when they just have so much talent around them. I think it's like, it's hard. Like, how do you really like judge that, right? Like, it's like you get such a crutch of like all this around you and the system being so good, you're barely being hit. So to see him produce with, I mean, it's fine. Like Nico Collins, Robert Woods, Tank Dell is fine, but like, whatever. Like, I think he still has room to improve. Obviously, he's still super young, and they can still give him even better weapons. So, yeah,
they have a terrible offensive line too. Like, they're not doing him any favors with that. So, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, evaluating QB is the crapshoot of crapshoots. Like, it's from my perspective, it's like literally impossible outside of a few things that you can look at for traits. But like, even then, you don't know. Like, it's insane.
No, I completely. It's like you just basically you just draft them and you just pray that it's like one of like every whatever, maybe every couple of years you get a huge hit, and then like, because I mean, yeah, like Herbert, everyone thought was trash, turns out to be amazing. Like, there's just so many guys. So I want to hear your thoughts on Bryce Young though, because he's had a rough start, but it's almost like whatever. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your unbiased thoughts before I say anything.
I mean, I don't know, because there is so little there outside of Thielen, really. As somebody who had to watch a lot of Frank Reich coached games, there are some things he does as a coach that are a little like just head scratchers, like wide receiver rotations and stuff like that, constantly moving in guys in and out. I think it adds a lot of unnecessary confusion and takes up a lot of time sometimes. So it's tough because, you know, obviously he looked like just an assassin at Alabama, but you also look at it, like you said, it's tough to see because of who he's throwing to and stuff like that. Great pocket presence, great movement in the pocket, but like, if it were even before we saw them play a snap in the NFL, like if it were up to me, I would really have a hard time with that being the player that you trade that kind of haul for. Because for him to hit, I mean, he's got to be like the outlier of outliers at QB, because I think he's smaller than Kyler, shorter than Kyler, and obviously like lighter. I mean, it's tough, man. Like, I don't know. It's not. It wouldn't be my preference. I would take the, you know, homerism aside, I would take the 6'4", 240-pound alien that, you know, ran a 4.40, you know, ridiculous arm strength. That seems like a fun, you know, number one overall pick. CJ Stroud also looked great, but again, you have same issue where you don't know how they're going to perform when they get to the league. So I don't know. S2 test is down bad though. That's consistent. Ooh, I can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Sorry, I think I burped, so I turned it on. Yeah, I think it's hard. Like, it's like even like T-Law looked so bad his rookie year with Urban Meyer and like just a terrible environment, like everyone, like just horrendous. And then they get like a real coach in that situation, and just whatever, more talent around him. I think he's shown some signs that I think this year is probably like you're not going to get much out of him. But I think once you get him like competent stuff around him, which I don't know when that will happen, whether because they don't have a first round pick, right? It's hard to get wide receivers anyways. So whatever.
Yeah.
If they can craft something together, whatever, maybe it's a year from now, maybe it's 2 years from now. I think he has looked like pretty solid. Like, he looks like the type of like I don't know, like distributor point guard type, like Drew Brees type, where he's just kind of like in rhythm, just dumping it off.
Would you say he looks like Tua as far as a distributor? Do you think he's got that kind of elite skill set?
Yeah, I think, you know, that's a very good comparison. And yeah, hey, you know what? I will capitulate on Tua, okay? You know, I'm not a Tua guy, but I think that's right. It's the right. Exactly. Tua didn't look great his first couple years,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Like, not a good coach, not good players around him, and then his limitations. You see his limitations, right?
Mhm.
But when you put him in a good system, you surround him with elite talent. Obviously, then that type of quarterback works perfectly. So yeah, that's a perfect example. Yeah. So I think if you have like a rebuilding team, I saw we just did a draft like a week ago, and he fell to like 4. I think he was a bunch of pick before me, 4-10 or something like that. Yeah, 4-8.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. I was considering him like I was between him and Dak. I picked Dak just because I was a little bit more win now, so I was like, okay, whatever. But that's way too cheap. I think there might be a buy window on him just because he's not really going to be scoring that much. So if you're tanking, definitely shoot some offers off for him. If like, I think this is a good transition because I was going to say, who do you prefer, Purdy or Bryce Young? I think I'm still Bryce Young. Like, I don't know. Like, Purdy is tough, but it's close.
I mean, at cost, I would take Purdy. I feel like because that offense is it's easy enough, and I think he is showing. Right, so you have all the Jimmy G comps, and everybody wants to slam on Purdy, and everybody has their opinion and stuff like that about him because he was a 7th round pick and all this stuff. But like, the dude is not a game manager. Like, that dude makes some of the riskiest throws I've seen, and like the confidence that he has to get them in there is pretty nuts. So I think he's actually like elevating that offense to a place where it wasn't before. Some of that is McCaffrey as well, and it's tough to like kind of sort out, where to draw that line.
Definitely.
But I think when it comes to QBs, you need to weigh like some context into like their team and their team environment. And the Niners have shown the capacity to, through whatever means, get players into their system that perform well. And it's always going to be a high scoring offense. Carolina's kind of behind the curve on being able to, draft elite talent at this point because they traded that 1st round pick and traded away DJ Moore. So I think you might have to wait a little bit longer for Bryce Young, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I think now it's got to be Purdy.
I mean, yeah, Bryce looks good and has some promise in years to come. Purdy, I'm going to push back on this. I don't think Purdy is cheaper at all. I think Purdy's way more expensive. Like,
I think Purdy went early 4th in that startup, didn't he? It maybe late 3rd.
But in like, I don't know personally, because I was like, okay, maybe I'll try to like get some. I have literally zero Purdy. I'm going to be completely honest. I have zero Purdy. Because I mean, when I was drafting most of the time, it was like he was going whatever, like 10th, 11th round, and I prioritized early QB, so like it wasn't really making sense. But yeah, Purdy, I've tried to trade Dak for Purdy plus, and I got told to like go fuck myself like 4 times. Like, literally, they're like I would need more on top of Dak to trade for Purdy. Like, I literally got that exact response like 3 or 4 times. So
I love it.
So I'm definitely pushing back on the fact that Purdy is cheaper because I think most people would take Dak over Bryce Young, even with Dak not playing well. So like, I don't know. I don't think he's that cheap. So that's like everything you said about Purdy and like the environment and everything. I think he's better than Jimmy G. Like, I think he is good. But it is a little bit more of like a fragile bet just because he is a freaking 7th rounder. I don't think like they have this huge investment in him. And with the fact that like everybody looks good in that offense, I think he is like probably the best one that's been in it so far. I mean, but I don't really see like if they get the chance to get like an elite talent, I don't think they're gonna be like, oh yes, we need Brock Purdy over whatever if someone comes around. That's my only problem. Yeah,
dude. The next time that Shanahan tries to draft a QB in the 1st round, can you imagine like the absolute storm that it's gonna be? It would. I don't want to think about it. It's the
I
PR
prefer
nightmare.
Dak just because of age. Yeah, the only thing with that is I just feel like Dak is so like he's so stable. Like even if Dak were to get hurt, like how far is he realistically gonna fall? Like 4th round or something? Like
Yeah.
Purdy's floor is just so much lower because he's a 7th rounder. And he hasn't like shown like multiple seasons of just whatever, like super solid production. Obviously, whatever. Yeah.
The right answer to this question is Jared Goff. He's cheaper than both of them. He's playing the best football of his career, and he's great. Like that's the answer here. Dak is good.
He's solid. Like he's not great, but
yeah, it's tough because you may have seen the best Dak year already, or at least parts of it before he got what was like his ankle dislocation or something like that.
That crazy ankle injury, yeah.
Yeah, I love Dak. Like Dak is great, but Jared Goff is like 2 rounds later.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm perfectly fine with Jared Goff as your QB2. I'm perfectly happy with it. I don't know. It's just my bias coming out with it.
I know. It's tough, man. Like pocket passers are up big. That's the big takeaway. This is actually, I want to ask you about this if you don't mind. All right. So like,
of course,
you always get to preach about you need rushing QBs to win because of the elite ceiling and stuff like that. But like the counterpoint is like you got to have a guy like Allen that can rush and pass to get you to that like super high ceiling. So when you have these rushing QBs, this is a problem I'm running into where you have a guy like Hurts, right? So he's scoring a ton of points, but everybody's going to push back and say, well, yeah, he only gets the points because of rushing touchdowns. Well, no crap. Like that's like a good percentage of his points, but it's so hard to move off of those guys sometimes because of that narrative. Like it's an interesting dynamic. Whereas like pocket passers, like you could have, a guy that's throwing for like 4,000 yards and 30 TDs a few times in a row. And it's like, yeah, no brainer. Yeah, it's fine. He's top 10. Kirk Cousins. Like you can usually get, prior to this year, like you could get good return on Cousins, but like try to get like the value that you should from like a Jalen Hurts, from like prime Cam Newton back in the day. It's tough, man. Like that rushing narrative is bizarre how that works in terms of like dynasty transactions.
It is. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like people are like they want to buy into the rushing, but then they're like, oh man, it's like once he gets old, he's not going to run anymore. It's like
he's too good at it.
Well, yeah. It's like which one is it? Like in I feel like a lot of rushing quarterbacks, they don't stop rushing when they're older. If anything, they that's the thing that like keeps them in the league. Whatever, like we saw with Cam Newton, like he had that one weird year with New England, the COVID year where he was just like playing goal line fullback and just scoring a bunch of touchdowns, even when his arm was shot. Like, I don't know. Like that's the thing that I think, people are, they're not separating real. They're separate. They can't separate real fantasy football and real football. Like, yes, if you have a team and like you have a quarterback who's not the greatest passer, like, maybe you won't be able to like, whatever, like make it to the Super Bowl or whatever, because it's harder to like put the team around him to make it work. But in fantasy, like the floor is higher and the ceiling is higher. So like, I don't know. I think you're right though, because I agree. People push back. Like we saw Lamar, obviously it was contract.
That's the word. Yeah.
Contract related, but like people were always saying like, oh yeah, like he always gets hurt because he runs, and it's like he didn't even get hurt running. He got hurt when he was dropping back. Like
the guy that routinely embarrasses the league is that's such a that is one of the most frustrating takes out there.
But no, hey, Jared Goff, I'm a Lions fan. I'm very like I'm not an optimistic fan in general or a Lions fan, but I just he's been really good, and I think it's the same thing. Like he's not. It's the same thing as what we were talking about with Tua, with Bryce Young. Like these pocket passer, like distributor types, when they have a good system, when they have good playmakers, they're gonna ball out. right? But when you have Jared Goff and the whatever, like you kind of put him in a situation where like doesn't have super elite talent, and they play him a certain way, and he doesn't whatever, like he's not going to be great. But so yeah, I do think though, like like those Jared Goff types are a little bit undervalued, because like when you I don't know because it's like you see like Dak and you see like Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff, like realistically, is there that much of a difference? Like, not really.
I mean, dude, think how much cheap Stafford you got this offseason. Like, that was nuts. And I realize that's a little different because he's a bit older, but it's the same kind of thing. Like, I think that was like round 10, 11, 12.
Oh yeah, he was falling. Like, I mean, yeah, there was a time in the season where people were real cold on Stafford just with his health. Was he going to retire and everything? So yeah, I don't know. I think like obviously I still prioritize double elite quarterback, but it has bitten me in the ass a few times. Yeah, let's talk about that. How are your double elite quarterback teams going?
Absolute dog crap for the most part. It is. I was so excited to draft a few teams like that, and very excited to look at a team with Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen on it, and then you start the season, and it's not great. It leaves you so thin, and it takes you out of those rounds that you can trade back in and accrue more picks.
Yeah,
which hurts so bad. Like those are some of my least favorite teams, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I think two of my least favorite teams, because I traded my first round pick to trade up for whatever. One, I think I had Josh Allen and Mahomes. One I think both I had Josh Allen and Mahomes. And it's like one of them I actually traded Mahomes for Herbert and Breece Hall and Gabe Davis. And so that kind of has like held me together, giving me Breece Hall has been, ramping it up, and Gabe Davis has been pretty solid except for this last game. So it's like, I think it's good, but it's only when you have that luxury. I think out of a startup, it's tough. It's like you want to, like, if there's a buy window on like some guy, like whatever, like if let's just say Mahomes were to get hurt or something or whatever, like Burrow, I got him at like late first round. Like he's not a Mahomes type, but like whatever, like guys where they're undervalued. I think you need to pounce when that is happening. Out of the startup, I think I got really lucky just in the off season in like January and February and some startups with just like, I don't know how the hell I got like whatever, like 2 elite quarterbacks and Mark Andrews and like solid other guys, and just getting lucky to like, I think if you have all three, like if you have Andrews and 2 elite quarterbacks, it's like at that point you're so locked into like basically like 80 or 90 points a game that I think at that point it's viable. But
you're not this year. That's kind of the rub, because those guys have like like Mahomes, and like Mahomes hasn't hit it.
Mahomes hasn't separated. Hurts and Allen have been. I'm trying to. They've been solid. They've been pretty. I feel like they're. I mean, I guess it depends if you're 6-point versus 4-point passing touchdowns. Obviously, makes a little bit of a difference. But no, you're right. I definitely think it's more of like you need to be more careful. I think I was just too all in with it, and I think yes, definitely, I need like whatever. You have a Jared Goff as your QB2, you'll be fine. Like you're not. It's not the end of the world. Like
I think that was one of the lessons I learned was like some of my, and like counterpoint, like some of my favorite teams that I drafted in the offseason, one elite QB, and then you trade back in like second or third and you pick up like some extra firsts. But if you can like swing a trade back into those rounds and then get the elite talent, like you were saying, like Andrews, I have a team where I somehow have Lamar, Andrews, Jefferson, which kind of stinks now, but like it's yoked, and we're like 6-0, and I have Jared Goff as QB2, Brock Purdy as QB3, and it's like it's fine.
Amon-Ra, you have David Montgomery. That team is great. Like I honestly forgot. Like I do so many startups, I forget, and we're in so many leagues together that I forget. And like I looked at that team, and I was like, how the
How did
hell
this happen?
you even get this team? Like I'm like, I don't even. I think you traded back, and then you traded right. You were doing some like you're doing some magician shit there, like trading back and accruing picks, and then you used them later on to trade up. Whatever. It was crazy. It was honestly beautiful, masterful.
Just
I
as
don't.
much chaos as possible and get
Yeah.
your guys.
I have a hard time. Like I feel like I go in with it kind of like with more of like a plan, like, and then once, like I go into it with more of like a plan, and like I am like obviously I do like adjust, but it's more of like I have a template. With that, it was nice because it's like you were just like, you know what, I might tank, I might have all these picks, or I can use it. Like you're just like more fluid. Like you became the water. You know what I mean? And so that was nice. It really, hey, it's paying off. So
all this is we just, next year we're gonna have to nut up and get into high stakes and just split a team and see what happens.
100%.
It'll be good.
Let's see. We got hella chats. Trey Lance. The thing is, when you're drafting quarterbacks, you can get Anthony Richardson, whatever you can get, or you can get Trey Lance. You just don't like. You truly do not know. Because Trey Lance, same thing. Like obviously he didn't play at Florida, and he wasn't the most athletic quarterback of all time. But like, whatever. If you put him in a better situation, maybe he would have been fine. I don't know. You never know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Probably not, but I don't know. Tyler, the boy, emo cowboy, dropping in to say hey to the homies. What's good? I have a high stakes underdog draft with him and Mathology. We're not doing. It's doing solid. I think we need some Adams points.
There you go.
Okay, how about this one, Olave? Do you still have 0 Olave?
We are still Olave free. After him being one of the guys I wanted to get this offseason, wound up with 0, which is fine. Someone, and I can't remember who it was, it may have been either Drew or Jacob, was saying something like, like all of these, his rookie numbers are great, target share is great, but like we don't know if he's just fancy Brandon Cooks. And it's like, so far, that's kind of what's happening, where it's like you're getting all the peripherals, you're getting a huge target share, you're getting the air yards, but like, is it good? Is it worth round 2 startup?
Yeah, I mean,
like that's tough.
I think my only I think my counterpoint to that is not that you're wrong. I think it's just the fact that round 2 wide receivers, if they're not Justin Jefferson and or Chase, like it's just inefficient pricing. But the thing is, it's the same thing as underdog drafts where you have to take wide receivers so early. You have to take them there because otherwise you'll just never get a share. I don't know. I think Olave, I think it's been a little bit of like how you're talking about like the Cowboys have just had some weird games and like he was injured. Derek Carr was injured. Derek Carr's his QB. Yeah. Hey, Davante Adams. I know Olave isn't Davante Adams, but I think real life Derek Carr's very mid, but I think for fantasy, like he's fine.
Yeah.
I think better days are ahead. You know what? I swapped some Olave or from some Amon-Ra for some Olave, and that one's hurting a little bit because Amon-Ra is just going absolutely bonkers right now. I went from like 5, like 1 or 2 shares of Olave to like 6 or 7. Like I exponentially increased it.
No, yeah, you traded up to draft him in front of me. I remember. So like,
did I trade
in here, dude?
Wait, did I trade up? I thought.
Yeah, you did.
Wait,
I think that was in the in-season draft. I think you. I'm pretty sure you did.
Wait, okay, I can't see with these freaking glasses on. Let's
Thunder shades.
I can see here, but I can't see to this dark screen for some reason.
Good.
Here, wait.
I'm
pulling it up right now because honestly, I do not remember.
I love it. Yeah, it's tough with those round 2 guys, and like I've wanted some Waddle too, and I finally got one, but it's like Waddle's clearly overpriced for really what you're getting there. Like
Absolutely.
it's
No,
yeah,
Waddle is like one of the toughest. It's like he's so talented. He's in this really good offense, but it's like when Tyreek Hill is there, which I mean, yeah, he's 29, but like it's just he's not going to get the. He's pretty much even still with only Mostert in the backfield. Like he's pretty much the like number 3 like
yeah,
option. Like out like you know what I mean. It goes Tyreek. It goes the whatever running backs are healthy that week, and then it goes Waddle number 3, and like he's fine, but it's just like if you're paying like round 2, round 3 startup prices, he's not giving you difference making production. So yeah, it's tough. I think I traded London in something for Waddle in something. And I was a little bit panicked, and honestly, it was probably bad because it's in a bulletproof league where everyone hates Waddle and loves London. So I'll never be able to trade Waddle for like anything. But I don't know. I don't have any Waddle, so I was like, whatever. Like I just
enjoy the 40-point week when you get it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Whatever. He gives me 15 points a game, and he'll give me a couple 40 burgers if he wins me the week. Then whatever. It's fine.
It's fine.
You got to live
more than ranting about a 30% target share. For Drake London
until 2026 when he finally gets 38-year-old Kirk Cousins or whatever.
Yeah,
and he finally puts up a top 24 season. Yeah,
it'll be nice when it hits.
Did you see that London catch against the Commanders?
Yeah, real nice. That dude is he's special.
I had this like after he made that catch, and I don't know if it was that catch. I was watching some like highlights of that game, and he had one. I don't think it was that one. It was another one where he like did the Mike Williams. He like jumped up and then fell directly on his back. It was pure Mike Williams, and I was just like, it like hurt my soul to think about. Like, imagine Drake London on the Chargers with Herbert and like throwing like 40 times a game. I was like, he would be like prime Mike Evans, like going crazy. And now yet he's stuck on freaking Desmond Ritter led offense with Arthur Smith with his stupid mustache and freaking pit vipers. Freaking dumbass.
It's so hard too, like watching him in Pitts, and I get like Pitts may not be back up to 100%, but you watch the target reels of them, and it's like, right, even the game where Pitts was like getting the ball, it's like he gets the ball and somebody is right on him. Like he doesn't even have an opportunity to get anything after the catch. And it's so tough, man. Like it just limits them so much. It hurts.
It's yeah, it's sad. I don't know. I think you just have to like, I know it's like kind of like, I completely understand anyone who like just doesn't want to deal with it and just like is like whatever, like I don't want to draft London and Pitts and have to like wait it out.
Yeah,
I understand, but it's like if you can afford it, I think it will pay off eventually. Like it's a long game, but it's just how much pain tolerance do you have to just deal with the fact that like you're just gonna have to watch fucking Desmond Ritter or Tyler Heineke or whoever the fuck it is just throw it over their head for 2 years, and then finally, whatever, next year some year we'll get something. I don't know.
So this is the meme template, and I think we're going to be the first ones to do this. All right. Have you seen The Big Short?
Yes.
All right. So the part where Burry is just getting chewed out by his investors for like all the money that he put into the shorts early, and he's we've lost this, we've lost that, we've lost so much money. Like that's Pitt's truthers and that's London truthers right now. Like you just have to like sit through it, and that payday, it's down there. It's down the road. It's going to hit. Like you have all the right information about it. You just got to wait, and you just, throw on the headphones and listen to some death metal. You'll be fine.
Hey, yeah, I was going to say you need some like emo or some real emo shit to have to freaking go through that. Like that's some trauma. It's building some trauma, in your soul. And after a couple of years, then you'll have to unleash it after a couple of years. When Kyle Pitts is scoring 300 points, I will be the happiest man on the planet. But until then, I'm just going to be in my corner, talking about they don't know he has 30% air yard share. Like I'm just going to be
Peripherals.
Yeah.
Good.
My,
United. We have this stand.
Exactly. I mean, it's, you know what? It's fine. I have Mark Andrews. So like, I'm pretty much, I have more Mark Andrews than I do Kyle Pitts. So like my soul can survive. Like, I'm like, okay, at least he's scoring points. At least someone that I have way too much of is scoring points. I can survive. Okay. I would like to push back on the, I traded up in front of you. I traded back, which happened to be in front of you. So it's
all right. Still deliberate.
So, you know, recount the votes. Okay. Cause I, you know, because I mean, what was it? Let's see, who was available. Kyler was available. Garrett.
Oh, you got the draft board up. This is great.
I got the draft board up because I don't know.
Love it.
I still think so. Okay, so how would you order Lamb, Olave? Let's see who else. Lamb, Olave, Amon-Ra. How would you put those three?
I would go Amon-Ra, Lamb, Olave.
Amon-Ra first? Yeah,
I have no problems with Amon-Ra's Dynasty wide receiver 3. Like, okay. Yeah, I
don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Like, he's a target monster. The other JMO, who's coming back, plays different type of game, so he's not going to draw a ton of targets away. We're seeing him and Laporta coexist really well. I think I realize you may not get like the massive like 50-point game that you would get out of like Chase or Jefferson. Like I get that, but you're also going to get what seems I think he's in the 18s steadily, and then you spike up to like 33 every now and then. I think there's a lot of value having a guy like that in your lineup that's drawing double-digit targets, and that's going to get you 18 to 31 points a game usually.
Yeah, no, you know, I don't think there's a right or wrong. Honestly, like I think after Chase and Jefferson, it's just like choose your adventure there, your own adventure there. I mean, hey, Amon-Ra is 23 and he's putting up 20 points a game. So you know what? I can't really
push 23. That's nuts.
He's 23 and he's putting up 19.98 points per game. So let's just round up to 20.
Yeah.
But like that's I mean, even if it was 18, that's like amazing. So yeah. I don't know. I think those three, like you can't really go wrong. I still think Olave, it's hard though, because Olave, right? Like he started off bad. And he hasn't been putting up the numbers that Amon-Ra has been putting up, honestly, his whole career, right? Amon-Ra's been since like whatever. I think I don't know if he was hurt and then he came in like whatever, like week 7 or week 8.
Yeah.
And he just started going bonkers as the end of his rookie year. Like he's been averaging 10 targets a game. Like
That's
like
insane.
if you look literally, you just pull up his game logs, like it's 10 targets, 12 targets, 10 targets, 12 targets. Like
green.
It's crazy. So the only pushback I would have on Amon-Ra, because obviously I'm a Lions fan, I love Amon-Ra, whatever. Like all those arguments you just made, I completely get it. I just think it's like he is a little bit more systemically, like he has a little bit more systemic risk, just being that like he is in such a perfect situation with Ben Johnson and with Jared Goff, who we know loves throwing to slot receivers, and it's just like all the tea leaves are like everything is coming together. I think like Olave is like I don't think like he has been drawing targets at a crazy rate. Like he is the same thing. Like if you look, it's like 10 targets, 10 targets, 10 targets. And he was a number 12 overall pick. And it's just it's not like the same thing as like London where he's just like you're just praying that he gets a great situation. Like I think it's been a little bit of just like variance of like shitty start. I don't think he's probably going to put up 20 points a game, but I think like 17-ish, 18 points a game is definitely within range of outcomes. So then it just comes down to like your general outlook on like, are you worried about Amon-Ra in the long term? Which he's still, like we said, he's basically 23 scoring 20 points a game. So I mean, whatever, maybe he goes down a little bit, but he's fine. So yeah. And then Lamb is, I think Lamb is honestly, I would probably put Lamb third out of all of those three. It's not really anything like against Lamb. I think he's super solid. He's with a good quarterback, like whatever. I just think he's slightly older and just like he's not I just think, it's like he's slightly older and he just isn't. He had one really good season last year and he's looking solid, but I don't know. I just think I don't know.
Olave is exciting to watch.
I just have a boner for
Olave,
and it's really just because like it's when you're drawing like whatever 10 targets a game or whatever, and then it's also downfield targets. That gives you just the recipe for like crazy seasons. Like, because I mean, it's more just like the upside is even higher. Because like Lamb and Amon-Ra, like they're pretty similar from like they're it's more just like lower ADOT, like just pepper them with targets. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like that true elite ceiling. With like the Chase and Jefferson, like I think it comes with those same peripherals, but at a higher ADOT and just like so yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I don't think you can go if you have Lamb, Amon-Ra, or Olave, you're pretty happy, I think.
Congrats, you nailed your rookie draft if you got him there. Like you got to feel good about that.
Bring in the Crab King. Honestly, hey, I was really hoping that Jameis, like, because they played Derek Carr and he like couldn't throw more than like 4 yards. And I'm like, bro, throw in fucking Jameis and just let him toss the rock and give me that. Yeah, like whatever. Like I think Mike Evans and
the
Godwin
30 season
went absolutely crazy. The 30. Hey, we need a 30 for 30 on the 30 and 30 season.
Would be great. Okay? Yeah. Jameis throwing moonballs to Olave that would be great if Jameis unlocks Olave. I would love it. Yeah, I agree. Like Olave and Lamb definitely a little bit more like versatile to different schemes and stuff like that. They can play inside and outside, I feel like. Whereas, what you said about like systemic limitations, like Amon-Ra definitely thrives in that slot role.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's not so much like short term, like, it's not, you're not even really worried about it. And like how low is his floor? It's still really high. Like, right. Like he's still, if he's Keenan Allen and he's 25, like you're not worried about that at all. But it's just like, if whatever, let's just say whatever, like just Jared Goff leaves and whatever, and it's some other quarterback, it's not Ben Johnson is gone. Like, I don't know. It's a lot of ifs. Yeah. So I maybe I'm talking myself more into Amon-Ra, wide receiver 3.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I'm trying to think who else. So who else should we talk about? I'm just we can cut it in a couple minutes. I just want to go through the like top scores at each position and anyone. Fields, you know what? Fields was looking pretty solid. I think he would have had a pretty good game against Minnesota. I'm just worried that they're going to be so bad and they're just going to be like, you know what? Let's restart the clock with Drake May or Caleb Williams, and he's just out the door.
Yeah, it's have they said how long he's going to be out with the finger injury yet?
I haven't seen.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because with that narrative, I feel like with that, you're going to get a buying opportunity. There's going to be a really good buy window that opens up in a couple of weeks if this continues, because all of the, they're going to get the number 1 pick. They're going to replace him. They haven't seen enough. Like that whole narrative is going to take hold. So it's going to be, it's a tough one, man. Cause like he is, there are times he's very fun to watch. And there are times where it looks like he's like just lost. I don't know, lost. It's tough.
Yeah. I think it's tough because like, I just feel like quarterbacks when they go to a second team, I feel like it usually just doesn't turn out well. Like for whatever reason, obviously it's anecdotal. It's not necessarily for every quarterback, but it's just like, I don't know. Like he could be solid for fantasy. I think you should buy. I guess my advice would be buy once so you get some bad news. If he's out for, like you said, like if he's out for a few weeks, if they trade him to someone else and his price gets like, because I think it will probably go down to like whatever 5th, 6th round, whatever, maybe lower.
Yeah, you could probably get him for a first at some point. Somebody's just gonna be like, no, take it away. Like,
I mean, at that point, I'm definitely, if you can get him for a first, you should definitely do that. He's still a running quarterback, like we said. Like you don't get that cheap of running quarterbacks, right? Like even Daniel Jones last year, like when he was running hot. No, I'm serious though. Like Daniel Jones, when he was running hot, you were not getting him for a first round pick, right? Like he was. So I mean, and as bad as Justin Fields has looked, I still think like he could be like, I think Jacob was saying like, or someone was saying like he could just be like a juiced up Daniel Jones, where he's not great in real life, but like if he's just whatever, he's giving you 50 rushing yards a game and he's just whatever, he gets some competent coach that can figure out how to use him a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I think I wouldn't sell him. I'm not selling him.
Yeah.
Unless someone just comes off a big game and wants to do something, which I don't know if that's going to happen again this season, right? We don't know what's going down, but
don't do what I did last year. I sold him week 4 when it looked like the bottom was going to fall out. I sent this is an all-timer. I sent Justin Fields and a first to get the security of Dak Prescott. And then Justin Fields went nuclear.
Oh,
it's great.
I mean, hey, if you're looking at it from modern day, present day, like that's probably about market, honestly. Like I think it's maybe a slight loss, but you know what? It's really a fun exercise to go back and look at, like, if you have some older leagues that are like a year or two old, and go back and look at the startup. Like you can go and look at like the draft board. It's just wild. Like we think we know so much, but we really don't know shit. Like even honestly, after week 1 of this season, I was like, I spent how many hours this offseason just freaking toiling over all of this. And like after 1 week, it's not everything, but you're just like, you got to try to like use the numbers and everything and your gut and just, but you really just don't know. We don't know what
you get really excited about, Olave, and then Puka Nacua is ripping your face off. It's what?
Do you have any Puka?
No, I know I don't have any Puka.
Oh,
really missed the boat on that one.
No, I forgot in our league. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, because like I think someone offered me Puka for a second, and I was like, hell no! Like, there's no way. This is the best game he's ever gonna have. Like, fuck this. And then the next week, you're like, yesterday's price is not today's price. Like, I'm not getting no.
Yeah, that's been pretty ridiculous to watch that unfold. And that's, I mean, to your point about like we don't know, that's one thing I'm kind of taking with me after this year is like when you have the Tyreek Hills, when you have a Devontae Adams, like these older guys, and even some of the younger guys, when there's some uncertainty, like you don't have to get rid of them. You don't always have to sell. I mean, if a guy's like overpriced and you want to make something up, but like keep the good players.
Smart, good strategy. No, honestly, I think part of growing in like Dynasty in particular is just like, I think people are like, oh yeah, this player's overvalued, so like I have to sell him. Like I have to sell him now to like actualize this perceived market imbalance.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's okay to just hold on to like good players. Like Amon-Ra. Do I think he's worth a 2nd round startup pick? Like I think we just had a whole debate about whatever. Is he wide receiver 3? Is he wide receiver 5? Like he's like, I think he's fine there, right? Like it's probably not the best price, but also like it's wide receivers go high, so you have to take him there. But like, it's fine. He's going to score. Even if he scores 17 points a game, he's
Yeah.
not sinking your team. He's still a wide receiver one. Like he's fine. Like you don't have to like, oh, okay, I'm going to trade him for this guy in a first just to like eke out every edge.
All coming together.
Yeah, I definitely fall into that a lot where I'm like, I have a team and it's like, if I just would have held that team and not tried to like squeeze every ounce of juice out of everything, I think I'll probably be in a better position. So I overthinking it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something I want to try to practice more is like just if I get a really good offer and it's like above market or like something where it's like it really makes sense. But I almost feel like, yeah, like sometimes I still fall into like, there's those guys like in your leagues where they trade just to trade. Like it's just like trading, just like you're like, why did you do this trade? Like it's not bad or it's not necessarily bad, but just like, what does this really do for your team? And I feel like I've fallen into that too, where I'm just trading. It's like, okay, I did it and it's fine. Like it makes sense, I guess. But like, we're going to look back in a year and be like, okay, just hold the good player. Like, what are you doing? So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I want Cooper Kupp back. Tough.
How many people sold Cooper Kupp like after he probably had a couple of good games? They were like, oh, he's old and like it's not sustainable, right? And then he goes on to have one of the best seasons of all time. So yeah,
it's nuts. And that, I mean, again, kind of speaks to your point. Like there's signals that like you can kind of glean into, but you don't necessarily see that breakout or that, that's more than a breakout, like just that nuclear explosion coming. So like if you are able to just hoard for good players, like figure out a way to do it. I don't know. I got a question for you. George Pickens. React.
You know what? I have to say he's looked pretty good. Like I think he's had some good like yak ability. Second year off the ACL. Kenny Pickett's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So bad quarterback. He's still been pretty solid. I will say he hasn't had Deontay there, and Freiermuth has been hurt a lot, so I think that definitely helps. But I mean, I guess my answer realistically is, like we've talked about before, is like wide receivers don't really matter. Like, what's the difference between wide receiver 15 and wide receiver 35 is like a few points per game. So I don't think I have any. I had some Pickens, and like that's the other. It goes along with what
expensive.
I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes along with what I was just saying, though, is like there's guys who we like as a collective, like hive mind of like whatever, just like the people who think we know about fantasy football, we think they're like bad, and it's just like I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example, but just like there's guys where it's like it's okay to have some players on your teams that you don't like love, like you think like maybe. Like George Pickens is a perfect example. Like if you take over an orphan and he's on your team, like that happened to me. I had George Pickens and I traded him away. I don't know what I traded him away for. I think it was fine, whatever. Like, but it's okay to have guys on your team that like they're not the perfect like analytical darling. They're not the guy that everyone thinks is the perfect player, the trendy player. Yeah, I don't know. That's not really a real takeaway, but just I think it's like he's probably pretty good. Like, I don't know for fantasy if he's ever going to be amazing, but like you're not really losing anything by just whatever. Like George Pickens isn't hurting you. He's not super helping you, but he's not really hurting you. Like it's okay to like, if you can't move, I would say like, don't make a move just to make a move. And if you get like an above market deal, then do it. But don't just sell a guy that you don't perceive as good just to sell him. Like,
I feel like it's trending that way for a few different reasons, kind of like what you said. I think it seems like mini breakout, like he could be in the middle of the breakout. There's some external factors with, guys around him that are out. But yeah, like it seems like he could be going up in price and you can cash out on him. Like it's just one of those fun little, whatever.
Yeah.
Good investment.
I'm trying to think. What are some other guys I want to talk about? Let's go a couple more minutes and then let's cut
Yeah,
it.
man.
Let's go 11 and then let's cut it. So let's finish up. What about Nico Collins? What are your thoughts on Nico Collins? Where do you think he should be valued? Like range?
Yeah, I'm digging what he's doing. He's got all the nice peripherals this year. Good target share. It seems like him and Tank Dell are kind of swapping good games a little bit. But he's like, again, kind of crazy that you didn't really get to see what all he could do, because now he's playing with a real QB and he looks like a completely different player. Like, that's the part that kind of blows my mind. Like some of the yak runs that he's had, and I just torching guys downfield too. It's fun to watch, and he's producing points. He's had 2-3 spike weeks so far, and I feel like he's still ascending in value.
Yeah, I think like I've seen like some really like some of the people that I respect the most in like the fantasy football dynasty industry, like rank him like right next to T Higgins or above T Higgins, which is pretty crazy to say. But I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, he's still super young. He's with like we were talking about Stroud earlier, who looks like one of the quarterbacks that you want to have throwing you the ball, right? And he's a rookie. So yeah, I think I don't. The hard part with me is like it's tough. Like we were talking earlier with like Achan and like Gibbs, where like if there's a buying opportunity, like they have some sort of like something happen and you can buy them like not at their like steamed up price. I think Nico Collins is now at the point where it's like I drafted him. I think I was drafting him in the summer, like whatever. Like I got him. I have a few shares in like the 12th, 13th round.
And now he's going in the 5th and 6th.
Yeah. So and now he's like going like probably early 5th, like late 4th range, and it's like if like I'm fine with that price, but it's like I'm not running to the freaking keyboard to freaking send that trade. Like it's like if you have him, I'm not really selling, but if I don't have him, I'm not like I'm not going out of my way to buy him, I guess is the thing. And I think we will probably have an opportunity where he might go down a little bit and then I'll be buying. But yeah, it's one of those weird conundrums like with young players where it's like, do you buy high? And I think, like Gibbs A-Chain was a guy like where if he would have stayed healthy, I think I would have been fine, like buying high. I don't think Nico Collins is like that level yet. If he keeps it up, if he keeps it up for the rest of the season, I mean, he's averaging like 18 points a game right now.
Yeah. Do you feel like he still kind of has some stink on him from like the last 2 years or whatever?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think he does just have a little bit of stink on him. Just whatever. Yeah, he didn't. I mean, we're so used to the rookie year, whatever, like rookie year and then into second year breakout, that it's okay if you're a third year breakout. Like it's not the end of the world. Like that used to be what everyone thought was like the year when you were going to break out before wide receiver talent has just gotten absolutely bonkers. But yeah, I think if you have him, I wouldn't sell him for just whatever, just to sell him. But also, I'm not like I'll buy him at a fair price, but not super whatever. Like I'm not like he's not a must have where I'm like even if the price like Laporta is a guy where like I think I would also like buy high. Yeah, that's a good note to end on. Yeah, it's like man. Like, I think I'm not really trading like Pitts or Andrews for him because I like all 3 of those guys. But like if I can trade Nico Collins plus something for Laporta, like use your steamy rookies and steamy guys to go get like those must-haves like Achan, Laporta, where it's like the rookies are already putting up crazy difference-making numbers. Like that's probably going to like that's a good signal that they're going to be really good for really long. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Well, let's I really, you are the number one Laporta stan, so I commend you on that call, honestly, because I wish I had more. I got a few shares, but what's your Laporta bags like percentage right now in Dynasty and best ball and everything? I think you were like 30% in best ball.
Yeah, it's like 33, 35% in best ball. So that's been fun. He's carrying a lot of teams. I think I have him in about 40 to 50% of my dynasty leagues, which is great. I love him. He's my moon and stars right now.
Yeah, man. Hey, I was gonna say, like, it's crazy. I think I had 1 or 2 shares, and I got one for Zay Flowers. Someone just randomly offered me Laporta for Zay Flowers, and I was like, I'm running to the podium to make that
Thank
trade.
you.
I'm smashing that. But yeah, I don't know. That was just like prescient by you, just to see like the talent, the situation, everything coming together. So yeah, let's, as a Lions fan, I hope it continues, and still thinking Andrews over him for now, but I think it's definitely,
I don't blame you.
I definitely think there's a fair argument to be made for him. So we're going to call it a night, but thank you so much for hopping on here, sir. I love the stash. I regretfully trimmed my beard today and trimmed my stash. So I was weak. I had a moment of weakness. But don't worry, 6 months from now, I'll have my stash back and I'll shave the rest, and we'll be equals again. So
it'll be a combo with those glasses, man. Just keep the shades around. You'll be in good shape. Looking great.
Amen, brother. All right, bro. Well, have a great night. Thank you for hopping on, and let's why don't we close with the Yoshivas clip just for in honor of, it was his birthday. He scored his first touchdown. We got to show some love. We got to show.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
What is everyone talking about right now? Oh, see this? This is Andre. All right, Princeton. See a track athlete? What is this? Okay. All right. Men's track and field. Versatile skill set here. All-time school. Number 1 all-time in school history in the heptathlon. Okay. All right. I'm intrigued.